What's up, y'all? I'm back. Welcome to my channel. It's just Rhonda, and we're just here to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, season one. No, season one, child. Season six. They don't know what season they in, so I don't know why they expect us to know. Season six, episode 26. That makes no sense to me. Episode 26. I shouldn't be here 26 times talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, and that's what it's starting to feel like. I feel like y'all be doing too much making shit up to stretch this shit out. It's just really not necessary. Because these people don't have time to live any life to have a story, so they making stories up. The Fletchers don't feel that way because they just got here and they're entertaining. So we're here for it. But I'm just saying, it's episode 26. Child, do me a favor. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and let's talk about what happened this week on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So Key and Tiffany are talking because Stormy, feels like she wants to mediate this relationship. I don't know why, because to be honest, we are not invested in either one of these people. Tiffany, we ain't really like her from the get, but to be honest, I don't think she cared. I think she just, she played into it. I'm gonna just say it like that. Kiki, you are Tisha's cousin. I mean, I realize that she has gone on everybody's platform and will do an interview with her to say she has always known that she was destined to be doing something in this realm. And maybe that's true, but I'm not sure being in front of the camera is what it's supposed to be, because I mean, you talked about doing talk shows and stuff like that. I guess, Kiki, I'm not really seeing it, but if this was the introduction to you having some type of career space in TV and entertainment, I say that's awesome, because there's a whole lot of different components to making, entertainment work. But being like in front of the camera is not necessary for any of us. You're here because you're Tisha's cousin. That's it. That's all. I know you sat up here and said if it wasn't for you, Tisha wouldn't have, the life she's living. Okay, girl. But the fact of the matter is, if not for Tisha, we wouldn't know you. And that's how that is. So we're not invested, but Stormy wants to feel like she's mediating the situation. So here we are. Tiffany comes in the door wrapped with, Ace as her shield of honor, or shield of whatever shield, protection, Jesus. Why she got the baby in the line of fire with Kiki, but here we go. They sit down, what's this girl? Tiffany got her black girl braids in. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying, it's oh, so Stormy says she thought, that interview with Carlos King, Tiffany went too far. She was doing too much. Tiffany doesn't like Kiki. And Tiffany doesn't believe that she was doing too much. I really don't think she cares. She meant what she said when she was on there. She meant exactly what she said about Kiki. Kiki wants to know why Tiffany keeps coming for her. She feels like in the situation, Tiffany was coming for her. She's like, I don't even know you. I came on the show thinking we was, gonna get to know each other, and you start coming at me based on my relationship with my cousin, which you don't know. You don't know the depths of that situation that they got going on over there, but I think she's right. I think she's kind of right. I think Kiki came on the show as a new person. Tiffany saw her as insignificant. She knew how she kind of went through it with each of the cast members when she came on the show. So I think she went for Kiki because Kiki was low-hanging fruit. She wasn't coming for Tisha like she has in the past, but that was real soft like, and she knows Tisha is one of the staples. So you can only go for, those two so much. But we know Tiffany is very shady. And then every time you confront her about it, she always backs down, or remixes what she meant. That makes no sense usually, but that's how she do it. Stormy did the same thing though. I mean, when Kiki first came on the show, Stormy walked off. The lady said hi to her. She walked off. It was all based on that conversation that Kiki was having over there at Mel's house. Didn't really have anything to do with Stormy, though. You know, I think theirs was a little different, but still, I feel like she was giving Kiki a whole lot in the beginning, not so much different from what Tiffany. Tiffany just took it to another whole nother level because Tiffany thinks they're ghetto, both of them. Stormy just has business to back up her, what they say, she stand on business. Stormy stands on business. So shout out to Kane Harris. Out here standing on business in these streets. Anyway, Stormy said Tiffany likes to be shady, but she doesn't like confrontation. That's true, but it's also true about Stormy. Stormy, seemed like you and Tiffany got a lot in common. I feel like Kiki handled herself well, though. She stayed very calm. She was very articulate in the way she confronted Tiffany. I think it threw her off because, like I said, Tiffany only sees Kiki as Tisha's ghetto cousin. She thinks they're ghetto too. Tiffany thinks she's better. Her and Louis both. That part is true. She knows who to bring that energy to. And she always saying stuff that she knows is out of line, but acting like she doesn't realize that it's out of line. And she knows very well what she's doing. Um, Tiffany said she never had a friend like that and doesn't have any friends that live like that. What is like that? What is she talking about? I was like, live like that? You don't have no friends like that. Like what? And am I wrong? But didn't Tiffany say she grew up in like foster care at some point? So, like, what is she talking about? And then she said her parents were drug addicted at some point. So I'm trying to figure out what it is. The like, what is you talking about, Tiffany? That's what I'm saying. When she finds herself in a situation, she says some stupid shit like that, and you're like, what? I asked you why would you keep coming for me all the time, and you don't know me. That's what I said. You don't have no friends like that. She wasn't even there for the tossing of the glass. That's the only time Kiki got out of like real out of character. Anyway, she apologizes for being shady. This was so weird. This was so weird because at the end of the day, there's no reason for these two to be friends. Like Stormy, you talking about they gonna be the best of friends? No, they're not. For what? I would never be fooling with Tiffany. Shit. Kiki, I could tolerate because I don't think there's anything wrong with Kiki. That mess she got into is the mess, and that other mess is her and Tisha's mess. I think she's messy, so I would be very careful, but I don't think there's anything wrong with Kiki. Tiffany, on the other hand, I couldn't rock with. I just think Tiffany's she's dangerous. She's Karenish, and that's dangerous. She said it's really not in her character to bash people. Girl, that's what you came to do. That's what I'm saying. When she's sitting up there saying that stupid shit, like, and we're looking like, that's all you do. That's what you come to do is bash people. That's what Kiki's saying. What you bashing me for? You don't even know me like that. Pay attention, Tiffany. At the end of it all, after the apology, Stormy is so proud of herself because she mediated this non-friendship, especially since Tiffany is not about to be here, so it don't even matter anyway. It was just one more scene for her to get a check for. Chris goes to visit Martel at his new house. He's happy that Martel moved out of that house that he was trying to get a listing for. It's a lot of rumors out there that Chris lost the listing, or I mean, maybe based on that foolishness, maybe. And on that note, then you should know that you should never let Martel get involved in your business ever again. And you can always go back to, I lost business dealing with you. I'm gonna need you to go find somebody else to do that for you. Ask Fred, he's still on board. Um, they briefly talk about the family dinner, and I'm sure that's only to roll it back around to when you came over there to drop off that wine. Apparently, you and Nell had a discussion that got escalated. They be on this don't talk to my wife, talk to me situation. I feel like had that been me and Martel, I wouldn't have never took it back like that. I mean, I would have gave him the tea, like how Martel got all bent out of shape about the name change ceremony. I would have shared that part. But for me, I thought they were both escalated, and it didn't just feel like she wasn't all like, "Oh my God, Marcel raises a voice to me." It wasn't like that. Martel was man, I don't know which M I said, but you know who I mean. I don't think he was raising his voice at her necessarily, not in an aggressive way. Although we've seen him be extra, I think he was just being escalated because she was bringing up stuff that was getting under his skin. Okay. Um, and Chris actually said that. He said, was she being disrespectful or was she being truthful? Because you don't like the truth that much. And he said, he don't like for a woman, Martel said he don't like for a woman to be overly disrespectful. So as if Martel has been out here earning anybody's respect, I would like for him to shut the fuck up. Anyway, he said he'd check a bitch. And Chris was like, check? What you mean by that? Martel said he was upset because Nell took up for Melanie and all of that name changing situation. She didn't like it. She was talking about cheating. He didn't like that either. And so, that's where that all got blown out of proportion. Anyway, he kept saying Melanie Holt, and Chris was like, yeah, you keep calling her Holt. Martel hates that she's not Melanie Holt anymore. But Chris said the ceremony was actually nice, and Martel is upset because he feels like they pick sides. And Chris was like, "Oh no, there's the Holts, and there's the Rogers, and there's the Fletchers, still in the middle, still not on anybody's side." So, I mean, Martel, what you gonna do? They went to the party. They went to the event, the ceremony, to celebrate her being free of the name Holt. Martel said he hoped Melody did it for the right reasons. Yeah, she did it because she didn't want to be known as Melody Holt no more. I also think that I feel like any business that she does thus far, because she has created a brand and it's definitely still growing. We can expect to see more from Melanie, and I think she doesn't want to have the name Holt on it. So you can sit up and take credit for stuff that you ain't had no parts in. Makes perfect sense. That sounds like a good reason. He called it her new name. Chris said, "Oh no, it's not new. I thought I was gonna die." Chris was just like, "Keep doing that for staying in that house." Chris keeps like digging and digging and just a little bit. Him and Nell be doing the same thing. Their approach is just different. Y'all, Tisha and Kimmy over here getting their pussy steamed. We still out here steaming pussies in strange places in the dark. Oh, the bacteria of it all. Anyway, y'all could go ahead with that one. Kimmy's out here still trying to figure out how to get her libido together. Tisha want to take a pregnancy test before she gets on the little potty chair, pussy chair. Anyway, anyway, I'm not gonna sit up here and play with Tisha and her pregnancy test. Okay, girl, if you say so. She says she's been gaining weight. She's not been feeling good. And so it must be pregnancy. Or it could be stress. I mean, you're 40 and things, start changing, girl. Or you could be pregnant. That would suck, especially since your husband had a vasectomy. I'm just saying. Even if it did, I mean, I would never believe it. If I was a man and I had a vasectomy and you came up pregnant, I would need a blood test. You're gonna have to prove it to me. I'm just saying. Anyway, Kimmy thinks she's a fool, and so do we. Keisha said she tired of talking about Kiki, and Kimmy is like, "Girl, you had a whole blow up at your house where she threw a drink in your face. People are gonna ask about it." And she felt like over at the little workout session with Mel was picking, asking about any conversations that they may have had, they got things to go like that. And she said that I didn't speak to her, I ignored her. So now she's saying it's my fault. And I feel like nobody said it was your fault. What she said was, that seems strange for Kiki to walk in there and slap a glass in your face and for you to be ignoring her. So something must have had prior to y'all getting to the barbecue to, onset these feelings. Tisha know what it is. She don't want to talk about it. So she got on her feelings and walked out the door because that's, that's going to settle things. I'm just leaving. I think she's not equipped to answer the questions. She's just, whoo, her and Tiffany. Kimmy told Tisha, Jesus, it's so hard to keep these damn names. I feel like I need cue cards. It's written right here and I still can't get it together. Anyway, Kimmy told Tisha that Mel thought that she had something, holding some type of feelings towards her, because even as far back as the meeting with the Expo, she was open to ideas until it came to Mel. Mel know what that is. She don't really fool with you like that. So, I guess Mel, but you know what it is. Y'all don't really fool with each other like that. And Tisha does have an issue with you. But I mean, she told you, girl, she said you was a devil in sheep's clothing. That didn't change overnight. I'm not saying that's what you are. I'm saying that's what she said you are. So yeah, she's clearly got a problem with you. Tisha, no, that's not it. She don't have no problem with Mel. They were having fun. They were playing cards. They were playing games. That's not what it is. Tisha said she's just really got a lot going on. She's dealing with a lot. So much so that she's thinking about going back to be a stay-at-home mom. Maybe she can't handle the pressure. She said she got the house situation. The people is over here trying to call the folks on Black about the gambling night. She tried to do the thing with the community, the expo, and she didn't do that right. Maybe, Tisha, you should just focus on one thing. This is why you're overwhelmed. It's because you got a whole lot of shit going on. And yeah, you still got all your kids at home. It's not like you got all this free time. Teenagers now, they got places to go, no money and no transportation. So you've turned into a bank and a ride service, for teenagers. Because they got places to be. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Like, you were a stay-at-home mom. And then you didn't want to do that because, well, Mel is over here with 4 little kids and she's making it happen. I would say it ain't been easy. She has a great support system and she's got an actual demon chasing after her in the midst of it all. We watching it happen. So, it can be done, but maybe you're just not cut out for it. So maybe you got to focus on one thing at a time. All that stuff you said are huge things. Like event planning is an enormous task in itself. And an expo takes, I would say, 6 months to a year to plan, to do correctly. The same, And you got to go to people that have done it before, been involved in it before, to get the logistics of something like that. But you didn't want to do that. You did not want to utilize Mel, and you really didn't utilize Stormy either. Both of them have been a part of bigger things, and you didn't actually stole from Stormy when you could have just asked her to help you in the first place. You'd be moving in the way of jealousy instead of asking these people around you, for a leg up. But most people like that, don't mind sharing their ideas. You're not gonna stop what they got going on, so it doesn't, hurt anyone to each one teach one. That doesn't even make sense. So, you're being shady by not asking. Anyway, girl, take that break. She says she got a life coach and that Marcel wants to see a marriage therapist. Marcel wants to see a therapist? That's interesting. Because he hates therapy because he already knows everything. But, it felt like Tisha was putting all the weight on herself. Like, this happened, I failed this, I didn't do this right, and Marcel wants to see a marriage counselor now all of a sudden. So what? so she could feel like she's doing less right. I mean, girl, take that break. I'm just saying. Chris and Chris Jr. meet up at his office. Apparently, Chris Jr. has been absent since the family dinner. He's feeling like he hasn't been treated fairly. Chris Jr. is spoiled. When you go to jail, then you can't take care of your dogs. Somebody has to do it. And if they didn't go get them, then what was going to happen to the dogs? They were going to get put down. Like, you need a little bit of grateful, Chris Jr. But why are you in jail? Let's talk about that. Because you keep saying it's because I was locked up. So then what were you doing to get locked up? You said you'd be over at the studio. Do you sing? What are you doing at the studio? Just hanging out? Chris Jr.'s point of view is that everybody has a problem with him. They do, but it's not for no reason. It's because of you doing dumb shit. And it's growing pains. But when you start talking about going to jail and your parents having to fork up the money to get you out, like, yeah, you lucky you got parents that can do that, because some people just got to sit there, young man. I'm just saying, you're blessed. Chris, his father recognized that some of his behaviors sound like depression, and that might be part of it too. You know, he was saying he can't sleep and he goes up to somewhere in 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just sitting. That's the kind of stuff that gets you in trouble, though, Chris. Like, I'm just saying. At least he has his father. Chris definitely recognized, that his son is needing help. So much so that he was emotional. He was brought to tears just hearing, like, listening to the struggle that his son was having. It's hard to sometimes get this information around kids that are grown, especially he don't live at home. You kind of just assume that your kids are doing okay and they telling you that they're good. And then something happens and you're like, you're not good though. And so I think it also helps to hear that when you're feeling like that, I'm here for you. You don't have to be embarrassed or anything. Like, some people need to know that if they come to you, that you're not going to make them feel some type of way. You're going to give them, objective, sound point of view. Nell, this is why they don't come to you, because you be snapping. I do say Chris Fletcher has a very calm way of communicating. Even when he was talking to Martel, he was letting him have it. You know what I'm saying? But in a very subtle way, where Nell is like what he said. He says she be passionate, she be being passionate, and that doesn't always work, especially if this kid is already depressed. He don't want to hear it. He's gonna have to come a different kind of way. And so I do think, Chris, your daughter Lexi needs the same type of invitation. I think that's part of what's missing. I think she needs to see that same kind of, I really feel like she gonna feel a way about watching this. She's gonna feel a way probably about watching you be this emotional with her brother, and she will probably, you gotta offer her that same space. That's probably what she's missing. I don't think that she feels that. And it's hard, when they grown, because she grown. But I feel like that's what she's, because she says she feels like an outsider and that kind of thing. So it just made me think of her. But this is real shit. You know what I'm saying? This is not Tisha's ass over there taking a pregnancy test. What is we doing, Tisha? So Lou and Tiffany, the Whitlows. Lou seems very detached in this whole, like he has for a while. It's almost like he's already not there. Lou said life be life and the ace be acing. But we seen Ace, we haven't seen you, and he do be acing, and I feel like he's tired of this already. He doesn't know what's happening. He's looking a little like, who is this guy? Oh, I've seen him every now and then. Tiffany starts off telling Lou about her conversation with Kiki, and I'm glad that went well. Yeah, it don't nobody care about Kiki over here in this Whitlow household. I don't even know why we wasted time talking about it, because it's a non-thing. Even Lou had a hard time, entertaining the nonsense, because he knows that's what it is. In the midst of the conversation, though, it was like the build up to, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Kiki and how you've been getting along with people, and then we go slide in there how all of this trying to negotiate relationships amongst these people is stressful to you, and you're already postpartum, and that's how they're gonna slide that Tiffany's not okay narrative in this particular scene. Tiffany sitting up there complaining about everything she was warned about. And yeah, just because you don't have postpartum the first time around doesn't mean you don't get it the next time. And I feel like you might have had it in degrees, you know what I'm saying? You just didn't know that's what it was. You might have, because they didn't start having these talks. I have huge gaps between my children, and each time there's a different conversation in the delivery room where they're learning more, and what to like warn you about. Postpartum to an extreme is the stuff that we hear about, on the news, but you still can be sad and overwhelmed and not realize that it's hormonal and all of that stuff, I think. Anyway, Tiffany is older than she was, and everybody told her. So Tiffany, get a nanny. I don't know what to say. Like, I feel like these people in a certain income bracket just get a nanny and get an assistant, get some help, because you can afford it. To be honest, a nanny ain't that much different than daycare. Daycare is high as hell. You might as well just get a nanny if you can afford it like that. Because I feel like a lot of people can get some help, girl. Now the conversation is kind of switching. They were like first talking about Tiffany in that Kiki in that conversation, and then they eased into postpartum a little bit, and then she was talking about filming and how the public perception of her was so harsh. And I was like, what are we talking about, girl? What happened? So you came over here, first day on the job, talking about the little boy vaping at the daggone high school, and how somebody's husband was at a party with somebody else, with another woman at their birthday who just got a divorce. Girl, that's how you showed up. And then what opinion were we supposed to have? Girl, she playing the victim, but I'm not buying it. And I'm not, let me just say this. Like I said, do I think she had postpartum? Possibly, probably. Because like I just said, it's not always as extreme as what you see in the news, in the media. But it's every bit of what she's saying right now. All of those things are different. They got her load is way heavier than it was the first time around with her little boy and whoever she was married to at the time. Tiffany said she's so glad that she's thinking about taking a break, and she's so glad that Lou supports her idea. And I'm like, Lou don't support your idea. This is Lou's idea. This is a scheme that Lou made up to get y'all off the show. That's what this is. Tiffany, she gets all emotional. She's tearing up. She tearing up because Lou is making her quit. I definitely don't think she wants to quit. Lou is sitting there all calm, looking at her like, finish it out like we said we was going to do it. Because this load is too heavy. And you're my wife. And I want to make sure you're okay. Lou is so like calm, and it's creepy. It's just creepy. Anyway, they quit, child. Lou told Tiffany, no more. We're not doing this no more. We're going to figure out a way to say goodbye. So they had a whole scene about how they're quitting the show. Bye, y'all. Next week, Kimmy is asking Maurice to, be handy, be anything, be of some kind of value over here in this marriage, but he don't know how to do that. All he knows how to do is get his little dingling however he can poke it somewhere. Weirdo. Tisha said she had went on a little mini vacation to Vegas, and she said Marcel went to Colombia by himself. He liked that man over there in New York. Jessel's husband going to Vietnam. I never finished doing New York. I'm sorry. They kept having the same conversation about this girl Jessel not opening up, and I was like, I'm not gonna keep talking about that. Anyway, Kimmy is, I guess, feeling away because she wasn't invited to the name change ceremony. For what? You think Martel's so nice? Girl, stop. And Stormy is still out here calling Marcel a bitch. So y'all like the video, subscribe to my channel, and we'll do this again next week. Bye, y'all.